Welcome back my fellow creators. In this video we take a look at a lifter TNT cannon, also known as Lupf in German. It uses 40 projectiles and is quite good. If used in conjunction with a stab TNT cannon, for example the one that I showed you last time, it can do massive damage very quickly and is essential for any wargear. I'll show you how to use and build it in this video. Operating this cannon is quite easy. We just have to fill in the 6 propellants in the water, but don't fill in the water source because that would mean that the cannon blows up. And then we just fill these side chambers fully, but don't have any TNT sticking out, so not here or here, only in the side chamber. And then you're done. This takes 46 TNT, and that way you can fire 4 times with approximately 3 stacks, which I find is quite good because you also can have chests in the war gear. But anyway, we can then just hit the button, and I don't know, I have a wrong delay right now. As you can see, it didn't really go in that well, but if we just change the delay on the sides right here to about 3 ticks, so you have 2 ticks, and then you can go up to 8 ticks, but I would recommend 2 or 3 ticks at the start, and then just go up every two shots or something like that until you arrive at 8 ticks. Because if you have 8 ticks set, then you will do the most damage at the aft of the war gear. So that's why we have that delay. And as you can see, it will now go into the war gear, and it doesn't really go in that fast, but it will do a very big damage. And it has a very big damage profile, so that's what this cannon is for. It's not for having the enemy down quick, but rather having all of the cannons or many cannons down rather slowly. Behind this with a stich or stab, as you would say in America or English. And then you can just fire into the hole that the stab made, and that way it is way more efficient with the TNT, because the stab is very efficient at drilling holes. Very few TNT. I mean, I think it takes double the TNT, so you could fire 2 times with this cannon or 1 time with the stab, but with the stab you would come in much further, but with this one you can do much more damage to the sides. So I would recommend 1 shot with the stab just above it, so a stab maybe here at this side, which means that the stab would be exactly there where the cannon fires into, and then the TNT would fly into the stab damage and then already do the damage to the aft immediately, making it much more TNT efficient. Because as you can see right now, we have to drill ourselves in with about 10 shots or something like that, or 10 is maybe at the much. But as you can see, we are now only reaching the end, but when we do reach the end, we can do massive amounts of destruction, and we can also have it so that we fire at different heights, as I can show you in a moment, which is quite good because then you can take out even more. As you can see right there, we didn't have enough delay, so just take it up 2 ticks or something like that. And I think 7 ticks or 8 ticks is best for doing damage at the aft or at the back. And as you can see, go into the back, and I've just marked the back with a stone because I think that's quite good as an indicator, and a bit different from end stone. A bit, it is quite easy to see. As you can see, it will do very big damage, and I don't have a roof right here, so it would do some damage up there too. But now we can also go and shoot at the middle, and that is quite easy too. We just have to have 3 ticks again, as we did on our first shot up there too. And I just replaced the brewing stand with I don't know, pressure plates, but you can also have nothing on there. I just like pressure plates, I don't know. I think it's good. But as you can see, it will not go up there, but rather in the middle, just across from the actual cannon. But that's not really the purpose of a loop. So we want to shoot up and not straight ahead, and then also down, because it will not go like this, but rather like this. So go down every other block. We're going to need a 13 by 10 platform for this build, and we're going to start with the interface area because this is the only part that is asymmetrical, and the rest we can just build on one side, then flip it over and then paste it again. And we're going to start in the middle, just place in 2 blocks with redstone on top, and above that we're going to place in the buttons on lamps, just like this. After that, on the right side we want to go out one further and place in another redstone. From the further back one, we're going to take a comparator output, then into a block, and next to that block we're just going to place in another redstone dust leading into a comparator, creating a signal extender. After that we want to place in a redstone right here and some 4-tick repeaters, then a block and 4 more repeaters, 3 of them set on 4 ticks and the last one set on 1 tick. Then we just want to take off this delay again. It's just temporary because this is what we can change when we fight. After that we want to go to the other side, place in a repeater on 1 tick, then a block and another redstone, which is going to go into the same repeaters as we built on the other side, just like this. After that we're just going to place in a block right here and fill in the rest of the blocks just like this, and place in water once we're done. But before we do that, we just want to cover up the rest with carpets, but we still want to be able to access these repeaters, so make sure that you can do that. And we're going to also place in a way to power these 6 blocks, because that's where our propellants are going to be, and for that we just want to place in observers right here. Then we want to have a observer right here, which is going to connect to a hopper, which I can get out very fast, which is going to be powered now, as you can see, by this redstone, which is going to activate 1 tick after, and by this redstone right here, which is also going to be activated one tick after we have pressed the button. The rest of this we're going to do on the one side and then just flip it over, so you don't need to worry about that. But we can now just place in the carpet like this, and you can also cover the hoppers. Then lastly we want to place in a water. Well, I'm just going to get some lapis as a temporary block, but we're going to have to replace this with, from now on we're going to only do things on the left side, and then I'm going to copy it as I said before. But we're going to start by placing in a dropper right here, which is just going to update and power the observer, and then a hopper doing the same. After that we can just place in blocks above that right here, and place in 4 stick pistons with normal pistons on their faces, and these are going to push TNT into the middle right here where it's going to be powered, and then pushed into the middle onto the brewing stand. So we need to power these 2 blocks for the TNT to be powered on, and that we just do with 2 tick repeaters that are powered through a redstone line. And we have this repeater line that we placed in earlier, so we can just hook it up with a block right here. After that we also want to do the same thing on the other side, so just place in some sticky pistons right here, and then normal pistons right here too. Lastly we want to place in a double piston extender, which is going to make them go into the middle, and we just do that in the middle, but this time only one high, because it would be butt powered by a line up here if we would do it too high, and that's not what we want. Now that we have the pistons set in place, we can power them, and for that we're going to place in a redstone torch tower right here, going up 2 blocks, and then above these pistons we're just going to have lines, so 5 lines of blocks with redstone on top. And as you can see, if we just get out a lever or something like that, we can have a double piston extension, and then also retraction if we do it in the right order. And for that order we just have to have a 2 tick repeater right here and a 2 tick repeater right here. Now we just have to power this first. I didn't mean that. We have to power this one first, because we could just power this one and it would work, but if we have TNT down here, I can just simulate that with a lamp. As you can see, the TNT would be powered first and then it would be moved out of the way. But if TNT is already powered, it can be bugged through moving pistons, and that way it would just stay here because a solid block is right there, and then it would just get the piston pushed into it and stay there for the rest of the sequence, and then just explode there, killing your cannon and doing no damage to the enemy. And that's not what we want. So we have to first power this one and then that one. But we can also power this one off first and then just power this one off. So we did that on both sides. Now we just have to run a line from this torch tower to the middle, where the redstone is going to power the upper TNT, and the repeaters that we set in place earlier are going to power the lower TNT that is going to be pushed in from both sides. And we just have to have slabs so that they don't butt power these 2 pistons. Then we can just place in a wall just for safety, and also hook up our first double piston extender. So this line has to be on 4 ticks and this line has to be on 2 ticks, so just 2 repeaters because we can afford them, because we're creative. If you would build this in a survival, I would always recommend doing the cheaper option like this, but that doesn't really matter. Then a 4-tick repeater going to the second extender, and then another 4-tick repeater right here, a 2-tick delay right here, so just like we did right here. And that's pretty much all of it done. You can just quickly check it out. As you can see, the right side goes first and is extended, then the left side, and before that all happens, the TNT in the middle is powered, as you can see right here. So before the right side goes, the TNT is powered, and then we just push in the rest of the TNT and ignite it all. So after that, the TNT just lays in these two spots, and we have to get it to here. So we use this last double piston extender, where we only have to do the back piston, because the other piston is going to be powered by these repeaters. We can just have a repeater right there, another repeater right there, and then a redstone right here. And as you can see, the last piston extension is 4 ticks right here. So -1 tick is only 3 ticks, and then -2 more ticks. So we have to have, that's 1 tick, and we have to have -2 ticks, so -0 ticks, and then just -2 ticks. And this should now bring a block, which is wherever we want, to the middle. As you can see right here, it will be pushed into the middle. And the same happens to the TNT that we're going to place in this chamber. Now I'm going to put in the final touches, and this is quite easy. We just want to have a grid of 2x2 fences right here in the ground. And then we want to get out a stone pressure plate and just place them in at the front, and then brewing stands right here. Then we can also place in the water, and don't worry about the right side. I'm now going to just move it over. So if you are not familiar with World Edit, you just simply select the part that you want to copy. And before we do that, we just want to fill in all the gaps so that we have the most shielding that we can possibly have for this cannon. As you can see, we have quite a lot, and you have to imagine that before this cannon are still like, I think it should be 24 blocks or something like that. I can't really, I don't know. I think 24 blocks is about right, but it should be something like that. So we're going to just place in a barrel, and I like to have it like this, and then just go on in this pattern right down here, and then in this pattern, and sometimes have 2 blocks, but you have to figure out the barrel yourself. But we can also change the projectile, or where the projectile is going to go, by simply changing the brewing stand out for a stone pressure plate. That way the TNT is not on a full block, or like 8 or 9/10 of a full block, but rather on half a full block, and that way it doesn't go as high up. But I think this mode is much better for killing your enemies and having it as a loop. But anyway, we can now just select it, as I said before, and we're going to do the front half first. So I have now selected it. Then we can copy it, and as you can see, I am in the middle, left middle block. So we're going to go to the right middle block, just flip it according to the axis. So we're looking at north, and we want to flip it from the west to the east. So we can either flip it from west, so / flip west, or east. I like to use west, but it doesn't matter what you use. And then just paste, and as you can see, it pasted perfectly. Then we can also select the roof, which is not very important, but we can do it anyways. And that practically the cannon done. As you can see, it should now all extend at the same time, but the right side, the left side is going to go out before the right side because of the signal extender that we have here. It first runs out right here, but before we have a 0 signal here, so when we have a signal right here that has the signal strength of 1, we don't have a signal here, which means that this turns off, but this still has 1 cycle left, so 2 ticks more, which means that this one retracts 2 ticks afterwards, but they both fire at the same time. Well, that's it for this video. If you are interested in either Wargears or Redstone, you should subscribe to see every new video on these topics. Consider also joining my Discord, where we discuss the stuff and where I can help you personally. Either way, I hope you have enjoyed this video and hope to see you in the next one.